driveways that are ridiculous. Like the house is 150 feet above the road, but it's only 300 feet back. You know, and forget about it.
Yeah. Well, what's good about over here, my neighbors with the steep driveways, the guy has like the lawn service business, and he plows and crap does in the winter, so it's always nicely plowed.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good deal. Let me see, how many times have I had my driveway plowed? Never.
Hang on, I got a phone call here. I'll be right back. W2BTK.
Roger. W2 very weak.
And KD2AFV. Hey, Dave. You say you never had your driveway plowed. Now, do you do it like me, where I don't plow my driveway either? I just kind of put it in four-wheel drive or take the van and put the foot to the floor. That's my version of plowing my driveway.
Well, because I don't have a truck. Well, I got a truck, but it's not a truck, and I don't drive that truck like a truck. It's my wife's vehicle, so I ain't doing none of that. My driveway is very short. It's only, I think it's 26 feet wide at the top and 24 feet wide at the bottom, and the thing is it's less than 40 feet long. It's not that long.
Oh, well, that's not bad at all. I think probably my driveway, I would say it's about the length of, if you know Billy's driveway. It's about that long, but it's like L-shaped. The thing in the driveway is an inverted L, but it's all stone. So all I really ever do is I just take my truck and I go up and down it a few times and pack it all down. And between my truck having four-wheel drive, her van, that thing, it's front-wheel drive, so that has no problem. And my work van, that's big, heavy-ass van. So you just put your foot to the floor and you get through it, no problem. I think I've lived in that house almost 15 years now, and I think I plowed that driveway one time. And it was like 3 or 4 years ago when we had that blizzard come through. And that was the only time I did it, and I did not do the whole driveway. All I did was the very end where the snowplow was going up the road to make the gigantic berm that you can't get through. So, other than that, it's foot to the floor and hope for the best.
Yeah, man. W2VW. Well, I've always shoveled mine. I was here in the blizzard of '96, and it was so bad. I came home from work. I used to work like the second shift, and I came home from work, got down here probably about 4 in the morning or so, maybe 4:30. I don't remember. Came all the way down the Parkway from Edison. And at the time, I was driving an '81 Coupe de Ville with a posi rear in it, and the thing was very predictable, but like all cars on the Parkway had driven off the road. Even cops were stuck. And anyway, I made it, flushed it the whole way. I mean, I didn't have traction, for 40 of the 50 miles. Then I got to my own street here. I couldn't come up the street. It was too steep. Now, my street isn't that steep, but it's steep enough. So I had to go all the way around the neighborhood and get up here the other way, which I managed to do. And I had to shovel the driveway out before I could stuff the car in. Yeah, that was a long day's work. That was the worst. That was the worst that ever was. I think there was 18 inches of snow then when I started shoveling it. But it's about as bad as it ever gets. The hardest part here is being a seashore lot. You don't have any room, and if you have cars parked in the street in front of your house, you've got to get them out because you'll get ticketed. if they have to plow the street. So that's always been an issue for me. Fortunately, we don't have to park anything in the street anymore, but between my wife and I think at one point we had like 7 vehicles. We had like my son's college vehicle that he went and bought another one, so I landed up with that. And that was here. And then we had one that my stepson wrecked, and then we had another one that we never drove. And there were like 2 wrecks here, and there was a Land Rover, which is a wreck even when it's new. Over.
Oh man, if that ain't the truth about the Land Rover. Hell, I remember that blizzard barely, the '96 one. I was just a youngin'. I mean, I'm right around Billy's age, so I can remember when that hit. And in my area out here, I think we got like 3 feet of snow overnight or whatever the heck that was. And, yeah, the one thing, really the only thing I really remember is, you know, me, my old man, my uncles, we all had snowmobiles living on the farm. So when that thing hit, there was a paper mill right down in the town, and those guys, the way that paper mill worked, you couldn't miss. Like, you know, that was, you know, there's first, second, third shift going on there. They ran 24/7, and between me, my dad, and my uncles, we were basically running around the whole area, the whole township, on snowmobiles, picking people up at their houses, putting them on the back of the snowmobile and bringing them down to the paper mill right in town because they couldn't miss work and there was no way you were getting through. I mean, even the road department, you know, they had the big road grader with the V-plow on it, and they were trying, but even the road grader with snow change and the V-plow couldn't get through some of the drifts. They ended up having to use the backhoe and scooping it out bit by bit. So it had to have been 3-4 days. You know, we were basically the transportation system to get everybody to their job at the mill. But the only upside to that is when that paper mill was still going, they had their own power plant there. And one of the nice things that used to happen with that is when that paper mill was going, the power plant was going, we would never, ever lose power. Like, you could have the entire state could have a blackout, but, you know, that power plant had its own power supply, so we would get the power from them all the time. Noisy as hell, you'd hear it all night long, but I guess the upside was you never lose power, even out in the country. Out here in the boondocks where we live, you wouldn't lose power. That was the only good side of it. I mean, well, never mind the pollution that they dumped into the Delaware River. That I think that's what actually ended up shutting them down. The EPA came in, they saw everything they were dumping in there, but it was good times when it lasted. KD2AFV.
Were you talking about the blizzard in '96?
Hey, y'all.
I remember that. I have pictures. I was little, but the snow was up to our street sign.
Yeah, that was something, man. It's pretty interesting with the paper mill. I wonder what what size generator or what kind of power that thing had. It was noisy and smelly, so probably diesel. Yeah, backup power is very, very, very important for a lot of businesses. It's amazing. There's whole companies that do nothing but that. Where I was working, we were using a couple of different vendors to do some of the stuff that we owned, and I was in charge of one myself. We didn't sublet that out. So it was pretty simple to light the generator up once in a while and exercise the transfer switch, put the thing on. Had a really nice Cummins 500-something horsepower. I forget what it was, but it was 500 kVA genset and two 300 kVA flywheel units and a pair of transfer switches, and I would simulate a power blackout with the transmitters, and the things would start up and take over, and then you let them run for at least 20 minutes to get everything up to operating temperatures to test. We didn't have load banks. That's really neat, though, about a paper mill. I guess it can't stop, because if it stops, you get all this half-processed stuff sitting around. It probably takes 2 weeks just to get the plant back up and running.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when they would shut down, I think they said it was 2 or 3 days. Like even if they shut down for an hour, it would take 2 or 3 days for them to get back up and running. But I'm not sure what they did for power, but the only part I know is they had a very, very large natural gas pipeline run into the place just to run their power plant that ran the whole thing. They just recently tore the whole place down. They demolished the whole thing, and somewhere on Facebook there's a video of the two big smokestacks coming down when the demo crew took it down. I thought they were they were spaced far enough apart that they could have done the whole thing where they demo them to fall into each other, but I guess these guys were playing conservative because they had them fall away from each other. Still pretty cool to watch, but yeah, the power plant section, that was like the last part they took down, and it was rather large. And they said, I don't know exactly what they ran, but I do know even when the power would go out, all of like my town's borough, Milford Borough, the whole town would never lose power, and we were lucky enough at my house that we were right within where they would send power out. So we benefited from them having their own power plant. So that was one benefit of it, but I don't know if it was the power station or the mill itself that was so noisy. But yeah, you used to be able to hear it all night long. You'd hear that plant running.
Yeah, far out. Well, now you live close enough to BTK.
You don't need any more than that. That's a gift in it of itself. W2VW. He's probably feeding the kitty or something.
No, I'm getting all these nasty gram text messages from... Forget it.
Oh, well. It's going to make everybody happy. I was listening on here yesterday, and a couple of high-powered stations blasted an AM QSO right off of 3880, like they weren't even there. And one of the guys said, "Hey, there were some guys on there." Really? Anyway, Toby, I guess you're going to do up some kind of antenna support sooner or later.
Yeah, I wanted to do it today. Tuesdays are good days for me because the wife, she works late, so I can come up to my shack and get some things done, but the weather decided that I wasn't going to do anything, so probably going to have to wait till this weekend. Build up the balance line and get the thing strung up in the air. So sooner or or later, probably sooner rather than later, I'll be able to get down there on 160. I mean, basically what I'm building is almost a direct copy of what Billy has up there. I think I might have a little bit less wire in the air than he does. It's probably going to be like 150, 155 feet total of wire up in the air. I think he's running like 160, 170. I can't remember.
No, I only have like between... It's probably about 140 feet, so mine's a little shorter than that. And yeah, that tuner I've seen pictures, it's coming out really nice.
Where's my pictures?
Well, I would send you pictures, but I don't got your number.
Well, that sign's good on QRZ if you want to use email. If not, give me my number, Billy.
I can do that.
Thank you.
You have an iPhone?
Fantastic. Well, since I've drank quite a bit of beer, I have to go outside and relieve some things and water the lawn.
Oh, yeah, you're in America. You can do that. All right, we'll catch up with you in a minute.
Toby, if I send you a contact, like, from my iPhone, will you get it, or does it come all screwed up?
Honestly, I do not know.
I'm going to try.
Have you ever had that happen?
I've had people complain before, like, it just sent, like, a bunch of gibberish and stuff, but they might have been on a flip phone for all I know.
I'd be on a flip phone if I could.
Actually, I think I would, too.
I missed my first Crackberry. That thing was great.
Yeah, remember BlackBerry? That was pretty cool because you could still send text messages quickly. And yeah, I would go back to that. You don't need web browser and all that, although it's kind of nice.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't want to deal with the web.